Hello, my name is Beatriz. I'm AuPairWorld's newest trainee, but before that, I was an au pair for a year in Germany. I decided to become an au pair because I felt like I needed a break. I was finishing my bachelor's degree and I felt like I needed a gap year before facing the real world, before having my first big girl job. And because I was a college student, I did not have that much money and I didn't want to rely on my parents for money. So I thought au pairing might be the best option because I could not just take a year of traveling. I did not have the money for that. But au pairing was a great option because with the pocket money, it would allow me to travel to many places, and especially in Europe and in Germany specifically. Traveling is not that expensive, so you do not need to spend that much money for accommodations or plane tickets or train tickets or even bus tickets. Yeah. So I thought this would be the best way for me to travel, and I would even, in addition, learn a new language. I am very passionate about language. I speak 3 languages, and I decided that a 4th language might be a good idea and might be interesting for me. And it was. I had a year full of new experience. I traveled a lot. I went to a lot of different German cities. I had an incredible year. I made international friends and I found a German family, which I think is a great part of the au pair experience. While I was setting up my profile on AuPairWorld, I did not have a specific country in mind. I was very open for the possibilities. I knew I wanted to learn a new language, but I did not have a specific one in mind. It could be German, it could be French, it could be even Dutch. So I was open for possibilities. However, when I ended up signing my profile and everything, I ended up matching with a lot of German families. At least a lot of them contacted me because I did send, I think, messages to 2 families in which I initiated the conversation, but I did not have positive replies with these 2 families, so I was in my so-called delusional phase. So I said, no, I will not message any family. I will let them contact me from now on, and if it is something that is supposed to happen, it will happen. Well, I do not recommend that as a path for everyone. It worked for me, but it might not work for you. I ended up receiving some messages from German families, and through our contact and conversations, I went through a video call with 2 of them. I was not sure in which family I wanted to go to and be their au pair because both seemed nice, but I connected more with one family, but the other family, they had, let's say, they lived in a location that attracted me more. So I was torn between my reasoning and my heart and my instincts. And a good way to solve that is to ask them for recommendations of their previous au pairs, if they have them. Luckily, both of them had previous au pairs, so I asked them to give me the contact and I sent messages to their au pairs. To be quite honest, the family that I connected to, they were like, right away, even before I asked them, they were like, we're gonna send you the contacts of all of our previous au pairs. And this is the greenest flag you could ask for. Because if they were so willing to give you their recommendations for previous au pairs, it means that they know that they had a good relationship. And this is a great way for you to see a good family and see, well, I think this family might be the best for me. So that the first one was, as I said, right away gave me the contacts. But the second family, when I asked them, during a video call, I saw that they were a bit hesitant to give me the contact of their previous au pair. It was most like, it was a feeling. I was not sure that they didn't want to give me, but I felt like they were not that comfortable with that. But they gave me the au pair's contact, and the first family, when I contacted their previous au pair, they had 8 before me, and they were like, this family is amazing. This is the perfect family. Go for them. Choose them. They're incredible. If you decide to go with them, you will not regret it. You will find a German family. And the second family, when I contacted their previous au pair, they only had one. She told me that she didn't have the best experience with the family. She didn't connect that much with them. She had some problems. And well, that gave me the answer that I needed to match with my family. So when the first host family sent me a message inviting me to be their au pair, the decision was made, basically. I already knew that it would be them, and because I connected with them and they had incredible recommendations. So the choice was quite easy, I would say. And as the previous au pairs of my host family said, they are indeed the perfect family. I found a German family. They helped me a lot during my year. Even after I finished my au pair year, they helped me move to my new city. And I feel very grateful for this experience and for having choose the right family. And I hope this might help you to choose the right family for you. When I came to Germany, I really had an amazing first month because my host family was traveling, was on vacation because it was August. So I traveled with them for a week. We went up north in Germany, and it was a very family vacations. There were like not a lot of young people around in the cities and things that we had planned, but it was a good way to connect with them for my first week. And they left me in Hamburg so I could travel a little bit, and from Hamburg I went to Berlin, and then I went back to Stuttgart where I lived. I had a really good experience in traveling solo. It was my first time traveling solo without friends or anyone that I knew. But the experience was very positive. I made friends and free walking tours. I made friends in the hostels, and it's very nice. You connect very easily with young people traveling around. So this month was very good and was a very good introduction to traveling in Europe for me. Before that, actually, my first week in Germany, my host family previous au pair was still there, and she gave me basically 1 week of advice. In which I would be with her while she was doing her tasks and taking care of the kids, and I could see how her daily activities was and what they expected of her as an au pair. So this was really good because I had someone my age around and we connected, and I didn't feel so lost for my first week. Also, I think a week later, a lot of my host family previous au pairs came to visit, so we had a house full of au pairs. I think it was 5 of us in total, counting with me. And it was really nice to share this experience and to see how they are loved by their previous au pairs. This gave me easy feeling. Basically, I was, okay, I can trust this family. I will probably not have a bad year. And I was right. But au pairing has also its difficulties. So I think the main difficulty that I found was the language. I came to Germany with zero knowledge of German, and I decided that I would learn here. My host family wanted an au pair that spoke English, that could speak English with the kids. So that was not a requirement for them. And since I didn't need a visa, this might be an issue if you need a visa, okay? But I didn't need a visa, so I just came here and I started to learn German for basically the first time in my life. And German is a very difficult language. It's not that easy. I thought it would be easier because since I speak 3 languages, I thought, well, it's not going to be that hard. It's going to be a walk in the park. And it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. I think my first month during my German course, it was very difficult for me. I lived in a small town, but I lived 20 minutes from a big town, Stuttgart, and I did not have difficulties communicating there because I could just rely on English for anything that I needed. This is not really a good idea if you want to learn the language because you don't pressure yourself to speak German because you have this safe thing that you can do and you don't need to panic that much because people will probably speak English. Because of that, I did that, but I did not recommend it. I think you should try harder than I did to learn German. But whenever I had to speak in German, I would panic and I would feel very anxious and I would just rely on English basically. So yeah, this part was hard. It was also hard because the youngest kid my youngest host kid, he did not speak with me in German. The oldest boy would, but the youngest wouldn't. He understood me, but he did not reply in English. So I had a harder time understanding what he wanted, and sometimes he would get upset. Afterwards, I think I would say after 4 months, when I started to actually understand some things, it was easier. We could communicate better. I understood him better, so he did not have much of a hard time with me, and he even was surprised when I started to understand him. He would be like, "Oh, you learned it at the German course," which was really cute of him. So yeah, that was the hard thing for me. Another difficulty, I would say, would find more friends. I really connected with 2 friends that were other friends that I connected, but they were traveling or living a little bit far away, and we couldn't, be in contact that much, meet up all weekend and all of that. And there were 2 friends that I did connect a lot, and we had a great connection. We would travel together, we would do anything together, anything and everything. But it was hard to make other friends. And honestly, I stopped trying because I was not connecting that much with the girls. And I think maybe because I was a little bit older than them, I don't know. I felt a little bit disconnected with them. And I was like, okay, I'll just stop. I already have friends that I really like, and I have really good relationship with them. I do not need a lot more, but it might have been good to have more friends in the region, I think. In the end, I had friends that I made during some trips, and we stay in contact with some messages, and we would meet up eventually when we did another trip, but they were not living close to me, so that was a bit hard. But I made 2 friends that are great, and we had an amazing time together. So at this point, I cannot really complain, to be quite honest. I did not make local friends. I did not make German friends. That's a bit harder than making international friends, I would say. At least that's what everyone else tells me, and my personal experience. It might be different for you. You might get luckier. But since I did not speak German that well, and Germans are a bit more closed compared to South American like me. I came from Brazil. We were a little bit more open, but they were always very nice to me. I did not have a negative experience in Germany, meeting Germans or anything like that. But we didn't connect that much or have a lasting friendship. So that's another difficulty that you might face when you come to Germany. Other than that, I really do not have complaints. As I said, I had an amazing family. Learning a new language, yeah, is very difficult and it can be a great challenge, but when you start learning it, it's so good. You feel so accomplished. So I think that even if it is a down point, something that might not be all positive, in the end, it's gonna make you happy. In the end, you're gonna be satisfied with your experience. At least that's what I hope for you, because it was like that for me. I hope that this video might help you understand a little bit how the experience as an au pair is in Germany, or how the experience is in general. I am very happy to make this video for you guys. We'll probably see you soon in another video. Bye!